All right, apologies for the long break, but let's get into the issues and give you updates of the municipal chief executives that are being nominated across the country. And if you've been following Metro News, you realize that we've been giving you back to back the updates of these development or the work being done by the government. Tensions ran high in the Bole municipality as the irate youth took to the streets, setting worn-out tires ablaze in protest against the appointment of Abdullahi Mahmoud, a municipal chief executive. Now, the controversy surrounding Mahmoud nomination has been brewing since April 24, 2025, sparking widespread discontent among the populace. Let's take that story and we'll bring you some interviews.
Chief of the Bole Traditional Council earlier expressed opposition to Mahmoud's appointment when the youth called on him on 24th April 2025. The pressure group Arise Bole Youth has also been vocal in demanding the revocation of his nomination, citing his lack of popularity among the people in an attempt to calm the situation. The Gonjaland Youth Association, a prominent youth group in the region, held a series of negotiations over the matter, despite efforts by the Gonjaland Youth Association to mediate through a series of negotiations. No resolution has been reached, leading to today's protests. As the protests escalated, the streets of the municipal capital were filled with the acrid smell of burning tires and demonstrators calling for Mahmoud's immediate withdrawal. The situation remains volatile, with the future of Mahmoud's appointment hanging in the balance.
AK-47, as you can see, an officer just loaded and ready to do anything. As you see, I think there is a tough.
You're welcome back now. Adams Abdullahi is a PRO for Arise Bole Youth, a youth group in Bole, and he joins me more on this update. Adams, thank you for your time. You're welcome to Good Afternoon, Ghana.
Thank you very much, madam.
Hello, Adams. If you can speak up, kindly speak up. I'm struggling to hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much for
great.
To your station.
Right.
Yes.
First of all, just let me know, give me a picture of what's happening on the Bole streets. What exactly is going on now as we speak?
Currently, as we speak, the situation is under control. The police is able to maintain law and order. And then I think business is going on normal as we speak.
Okay, business is going on normal. That's interesting and that's good to note. But what ignited the whole, the youth going irate? What caused the problem?
All right, thank you very much. And the president for the past 1 month has issued his constitutional order by nominating a MCE for Bole Bamboy, which is the person of Mr. Mahmoud Abdullahi. I think upon being nominated by the president, the community rejected this nominee. That by so doing, issuing a press statement by meeting the Gonjala Youth Association, the paramount chief, and prominent people in the community who rejected the nominee. By so doing, the youth group in Bole has petitioned the presidency, rejecting this nominee. I think on the 7th of this month was the day set aside to either reject or confirm the nominee. But because the community protests and agitate on his nomination, I think it was pulled back, and then we issued a statement also calling off our demonstration. I think 3 days ago, they brought another letter that suggests that on Monday will be another confirmation date for Mahmoud Abdullah.
What was the reason the youth rejected the nominee?
The nominee on 26 September 2024 has made some comments, statements on social media, which happens to be comments that cannot unite the community as a leader. We don't see to him to be somebody that can unite the Bole district. He has made comments that is an insult to the paramountcy in Bole and that of Gonjaland.
The comment was an insult to the paramountcy and Gonjaland.
Yes, yes.
So,
you know, in Bole district, we have about 6 minor tribes that are living in Bole district, which happens to have, we have more traditional area and that of the Gonjaland, Bole traditional area. So, with his comment on 26 September 2024, he's making a comment, a categorical stating that the paramount chief of, what is it called, Mo, is in the same line with the paramount chief, the overlord of Gonjaland. And then the paramount chief of Bole is nowhere near to that of the paramount chief of Mo traditional area. And knowing very well that the whole traditional area, or maybe the whole district and the land belongs to Gonjas. So you as a person at that time making this comment never knew the day will come like this. He will be coming seeking for a leadership position in Bole Traditional Council.
When he made this comment, did he hold any leadership role?
At the time, we never even know him.
Okay, so the comment goes to the effect that he was likening one paramount chief to another paramount chief, putting them on the same scale.
Not another paramount chief, the overlord. Bamboy, we have a Bamboy district, a Bole district. We don't have Bole district. We only have Bole constituency, but we don't have Bole Bamboy district. We have Bole district. So we have more traditional council, and we have Bole traditional council. But when you look at land demarcation, the whole land belongs to Gonjas. So he is making comment that the paramount chief of Mo traditional area is bigger than that of Bole traditional council, and then he's pegging the same Mo traditional council to that of the overlord of Gonjaland, which we see to be an insult to the Gonja Traditional Council and that of the Bole Traditional Council. That not again, he went against citing that the Bole district should be divided into 2, citing Bamboy as the capital. At the same time, that was the 26th September 2024. So you see what he was citing that Bole district should be divided, and then the the capital should be situated in the Bamboy district, Bamboy town.
So do I get the impression that you, the youth, you are the president of the youth, right?
I'm the PRO.
You are the PRO. So
yes, yes.
You encourage the youth to go onto the streets?
I don't think any leader will encourage anybody today to go on the street to demonstrate. It is their constitutional right to do whatever they've done, because some months ago, when the president was sharing ministerial positions and people were not giving, I think when you go across the country, people went on the street to burn ties and show their displeasure. So it is their constitutional right to do whatever they've done. I don't think any leader has sanctioned anybody to go out to demonstrate.
You didn't sanction them, but you didn't stop them.
I think when we talk of leadership and then youth, I think when the situation gets out of hand, I think everybody can take the law into his own hands to do whatever. Well, we thank God.
Are you saying that you did not pick intel that the youth was going onto the street, because what happened was lawless? Are you aware?
No, we did not pick any intel. If it were to be anybody who to pick intel, it should be the police.
So at what point did you realize that your youth was on the streets and went to intervene?
Yeah, but then I was returning from my website to town that I confronted the situation where stairs were burning on the streets, and then watched the police was there looking. So if you are talking about intel, I think the police had the intelligence on the ground, so they should know the situation more than we, the executives, do.
So you say that it is in the constitutional right of every person to demonstrate. I agree with you on that score. I do not agree with you that when you want to demonstrate, you pack used and wasted tires in the middle of the streets and burn them to the detriment of everybody and the health detriment of everyone around.
Yes, this is not demonstration. We know how the laws works, and the youth of Bole is law-abiding. I think some weeks ago, we confronted the police that we want to do a demonstration, which was supposed to be on the 6th and the 7th. But upon deliberations with leadership of the Gonjala Youth Association, Council of State, and that of the Paramount Chief of Bole traditional area, I think we pull off the demonstration, which they also pushed the confirmation indefinite. But to our notice, I think they issue a new date, which is supposed to be on Monday, that they're going to do another confirmation, which whether by rejecting him or confirming him, and that is what led to the protest.
You are a youth leader, right?
Yes.
So you are in control of quite a number of persons in your area, right?
Yes. Yes.
When the president of the government or the government takes decisions, do you think that you know better than the government? I'm not saying that you shouldn't share your opinions, but do you think you know better than the government or the president that makes a decision?
When we talk of democracy belongs to the people. The will of the people must speak, and the will of the people must always be considered. So if we are talking about democracy, and he has the executive power today by appointing anybody, I think the person is not coming to rule he's the person who made the appointment, but he's coming to rule the community that he has made the appointment to. I think if the community is resisting the person, I think it's their right to resist, but they don't have the right to change the person. And that is what we are having today. If they are having the right to change the person, we would have changed the person. But we have the right to...
Yeah, but from your tone of communication, I get the impression that you are in support, or you were in support of how your youth behaved.
Yes, we were in support of it, but as today activities, no leadership of Arise Bole Youth has sanctioned that activity.
But you were in support.
We were in support of it.
You did not sanction, but you're in support.
Today's activities, we did not sanction it. But in the earlier protests, that happens to go by writing petitions, going protesting holding press conferences. I think the leadership of the Arise Bole Youth did all those things. But for today's sanction activities, I think it's not in the knowledge of the leadership.
So what was the protest, seeking to achieve?
I think today, as we speak, those who protest are even against the leadership of Arise Bole Youth by accusing of collecting price from the government side. That is why we are quiet for some time now, because I think last week or so, early this week, that we met Gonjala Youth Association, including the regional chairman and then some prominent people, to talk about this issue and deliberate on it. I think hence from there, we ceased to talk of it on platforms and other radio stations. I think that led to the accusation that we are also receiving today, that we took bribe from the government side. That is why we are mixed, and we are in bed with them, and that is why the government is able to cite a new date to come and confirm the nominee. I think that is what led to the protest.
Have you been able to achieve your aim of this protest?
The protest, I can't say we are able to achieve our aim, because we did not sanction as a leadership, we did not sanction the protest today. So if I say we are able to achieve our protest, that means I'll end up by saying that we sanction it. Leadership is not aware of it, but I cannot say we have achieved our protest. Our aim. If by achieving our aim, that is when maybe by the next 1 hour or maybe 30 minutes, the president will come out to the community that the nominee has been changed or been replaced. It's
been hours. This happened the early hours of today, and we're still not getting any response from the presidency or from the government side. So it doesn't look like you've yielded any results yet.
Yes, we cannot say we've yielded any results. Everybody has a right to, even if a single person can hold a demonstration or can hold a discussion against whatever position the government is taking. I think it is their interest for whatever they've done. But like I said, leadership is not in support of what they've done today, but we cannot say they are not our members.
All right. So, let me ask, if the police had decided, to arrest and detain your members who did this, how would you have felt about it?
That would be a breach of constitution. I think if they have the right to protest, I don't see why the police would like to, arrest. But if police is trying to arrest anybody in this regard, I think it will end up escalating the issue. Because
it will be a breach of constitution for your members misbehaving and causing harm to the environment. I'm sorry. You need to be able to separate protest from lawlessness as a leader. And if you are not able to do it, then I'm sorry, you are not even capable to being a leader of a youth group.
But that doesn't warrant the police to say they are going to arrest those that have done that. But last month or 2 months ago, I think same incident happened. That some people were, burning ties in Bole town because some people are not given ministerial positions. Why is it that at that time people were not arrested?
Application. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, you don't ask the questions here. I'm doing that, but I will respond on this one. Application of the law is not that necessarily selective. But if you find yourself in an area where you are arrested, you can't be comparing yourself to persons who have done it before and were not arrested. We seem that's what I said. As leadership, we seem to be
what has happened.
We seem to be getting used to the lawless activity. So if it's happened 2-3 times and you don't see the police move, and it happens again and they move, you can't question the action of the police.
And that is why I said we don't justify what happens today. As leaders, we are not in support of what happened today, but that doesn't mean we are trying to all solve the problem, and we are all on the ground to solve the problem. That doesn't mean that what I've done today, we as leaders are in support of this. We are against it because we've not sanctioned it. And if we are to sanction it, we will notify the police as law-abiding citizens, and we are always in contact with the police in certain deliberations. So there's no way leadership will support what has happened today. But irrespective of that, if you have to go by, the police is to go by maybe going around picking people that they cited at the protest and arresting them. I think it will end up escalating the situation.
Okay, but why are you not in support of the burning of the ties and the lawlessness? Why are you not in support of that?
Because in so doing, if you have to hold a press conference, I think that one doesn't need to notify the police. If you have to hold demonstration, I think you have to notify the police and clear 5 days before the police will give you an approval or whether to go by it or not.
So you breached the constitution, not the police.
As leaders, we didn't breach the constitution because we did not sanction any activities.
No, I'm saying that you, as your group, breached the constitution because they know what to do before you hit the streets to protest.
The group did not breach the constitution because as leaders of the group, we did not sanction any activities in this regard. So you cannot say the leadership or maybe the group has breached the constitution. Leadership of how are you going to survive in Ghana if anybody decides to get up at any point in time and protest without notifying the security? Maybe those people who went ahead to do that will have the question to that. But as leadership of Arise Bole, we did not sanction today's activities, and we cannot be responsible for whatever happened today.
All right. So have you been able to organize your youth that were on the streets? Do you know them? Will you be able to answer to authorities once you're questioned?
Question to what happens today?
Yes.
Yes, we'll be able because we are always engaged with the police.
So do you know the members who engaged in this?
Those who are engaged in this?
Yes, you know them.
I cannot tell because I was not on the ground.
You cannot tell?
Yes, I cannot tell because I was not on the ground.
No, your absence does not, absolve you of the consequences. Your absence doesn't absolve you of the consequences because you've already stated that you
have a group numbering of almost 2,000 members. And maybe a handful of them is on the street to protest. How will you identify?
It matters not. It is part of your responsibilities.
Yes, it is part of responsibility. But if they go on rampage, at that time you cannot say leadership has failed. Though we control them, but when it gets to a point that we cannot control them, I think it's up to them to code their own fate.
You don't think leadership has failed in this state?
Leadership has not failed.
So who has failed?
Come again.
So who failed?
I don't know.
You have members in your group who have misbehaved. They have actually breached the constitution, and you can't account for them.
Who are in our group that has behaved? I think it's left to leadership to call an emergency meeting, then look into the matter and deal with it accordingly.
All right. Adams Abdullahi, I'm sure I will engage you again,
Okay,
especially on
thank you.
this. Thank you very much. And Adams Abdullahi is a PRO for Arise Bole Youth, members who were on the streets earlier today protesting against the MCE that was appointed by His Excellency the President or the government would say, because the government is still putting people together and the governance goes all the way to the local assembly or to the local government, and so persons who also have to be put in charge of this local government. Now, so I will give you that story again, and we'll get to the NDC executives and